Welcome to the Power Edge Podcast, where power is refined, impact sharpens, and leaders move from success that performs to powerful legacy.
Hello and welcome. I'm your host, Alara Sage. Today I want to speak about integrity, but not moral integrity, structural integrity. The integrity that allows you, reflects to you, your power, your access to your power. Structural integrity is all about integration. We are not just a mind. We are body, mind, and soul. I don't think there's a lot of people that can argue with that point, no matter what your beliefs are. And this is the Trinity. I personally love the Trinity. It's one of my primary teachings and one of the primary ways that I live and create my life. The number 3 is just so perfect, in my opinion. Balanced, harmonic. And in the Trinity of body, mind, spirit, we are integral when we are working from all 3 of those aspects. In structural integrity, you are out of integrity when you are only working on 1 or 2 of those aspects. So let me give you a deeper understanding of what I mean here. Body, mind, soul. A lot of people are very mind-based, and that's beautiful. You are strategic. You are a brilliant machine. But if you're not connected to your body and you're not connected to your soul, this is the recipe for burnout. And this is actually quite a brittle experience. This is actually quite a brittle representation of power. So why is this? In biology, we're already connecting that, for one, the brain is not the sole computer. You hear much about the brain-gut connection. And in the Institute of Heart Math, they're studying the brain of the heart, the neurological system of the heart, and suggesting that the heart is actually the one that is the primary computer. That more signals actually go from the heart to the brain than the brain to the heart. So what is this saying? It's saying that our gut and our heart and our body holds great intelligence. An intelligence that is different than the mind, but intelligent just the same. So if you are only working from the mind, you are dismissing, denying, avoiding a very large portion of your intelligence. Some of this intelligence can be considered intuition, gut instinct. It is an intelligence that keeps animals alive, that helped tribes and people that didn't have the internet and all this access to information away from harm and understanding how to move and find food. It is an intelligence that is interconnected with life itself. So when you are only working of the mind, you are disconnected from this intelligence. And this intelligence is way ahead of the mind. This is the ability to feel markets before they crash or before they change. This is the feeling that people had when 9/11 and they didn't go to work that day. Their gut instinct. And this is proven more and more to be a real thing. So if you're solely mind-based, sure, you can look at the numbers, you can logically measure your reality, but you are disconnected from a whole slew of information and intelligence that your body offers you. And furthermore, if you're mind-based and you're disconnected from your soul, that is your purpose. That is your ultimate potential. The mind is very much like a computer, and it is easily programmable. It is easily programmable those first 7 years of our life. And it continues to be programmed by what we watch, what we consume through our eyes and our ears. So without the connection to the body, this gut instinct, this deeper intelligence, and without the connection to the soul, which is your full ultimate potential, well, you're very limited. And this is without even bringing in the truth that most people are functioning in the 5%. 5% of their conscious mind is all they're connected to, while 95% of their subconscious mind is what is actually running the show. So being solely mind-based is very out of integrity. You are not in your power. You are in your mind. Now, if we think about the soul without the body or the mind, this is the visionary. This is the person, and maybe you've had one, a brother or an uncle or a neighbor that has all the greatest ideas, and they're really good ideas, but they never take action on any of them. Because the vision is so big, they don't know how to connect it into the mind, which would bring them the strategy, the logical way through which they could articulate and actualize such a grand vision into reality. And these people are often very ungrounded. They can move from one big vision to the next because they are ungrounded. They are disconnected from their body. They're disconnected from the here and now. Because what is the thing that is always in the here and now? It's your body. Your mind oftentimes is not. Your soul isn't. But the body, you can guarantee 100% that your body is always and only in the here and now. So the person that is solely soul-based is lacking the power to actualize, to create. They're out of integrity in bringing those big visions to life. And that matters morally as well, because oftentimes these people have delicious visions that really could help and change humanity. Is it moral if they have this vision but never bring it to life? You could question that. That's like if somebody has the answer to a problem, but they can't bring that answer, that solution, into tangibility. So their solution, and perhaps it remains the only real solution, is a figment of their imagination. Is that not doing a disservice to humanity? Absolutely. And to themselves, of course. So they're lacking the power to actualize energy, idea, vision into reality. And the last one is the body without the mind or the soul. This is the person who goes through the motions. They are in the present moment. They don't really have any visions, but they're like a robot. They just carry out their day, day after day, without any aliveness, without any passion without any purpose. I know that, my father's generation and his father's generation, there was a lot of this because they were taught that you just had to show up, that dreams weren't important, and perhaps they were even dangerous. And these people are also, or often, really powerful in stamina. They have the ability to persevere. They can move mountains with their physical energy. But when it comes to creating vision and purpose for themselves, what they want to really leave behind as a legacy, there's no desire there. And without that desire, the strategy rarely even comes. The mind works best when the soul is present. Otherwise, the mind is just doing something for a particular reason, usually in order to get. I'll do this to get money. I'll do this to get status. I'll do this to get something. The soul is our purpose. The soul is our ultimate potential and what we are really here to be and create as humans. So if somebody is solely body-based, they don't have either of that. They don't have the vision and they don't have the strategy of how to change their life, how to even potentially spark some aliveness within themselves, ask themselves the question. They're just moving through the motions. So seeing that there's always some level of imbalance here, and I would say the vast majority of humans are functioning solely in the mind, maybe with some soul, meaning they do have a purpose. They do know their why, but are they connected to their body? Because none of it is separate. This is the interesting thing. You can't actually access the full capacity of your mind without your body and your soul. And you can't access the full potential of your soul, your ultimate potential in human form, without the body and the mind. And of course, you can't access the full potential of your body without the mind and the soul. We see that a lot in athletes, right? Who have to really push themselves. They push their bodies past points where their bodies are very clearly saying, enough, no, stop. And they're drawing from that soul. They're drawing from a potential that exceeds the physical body. And they're using their mind to will themselves to believe that it's possible. It's quite beautiful. That's why we are drawn to athletes, because they seem to hold so much power. And this is the reason. They are integral. They are oftentimes very balanced in all three of these without even knowing that they are, because humans are so naturally mind-based and athletes bring in the body. And the truth is, without that soul connection, they would never become Olympians or professionals. They have to tap into the soul, into that ultimate potential to be able to reach that level. So that's curious, is it not? Why we feel so drawn to them. Even if you're not a sports person, you can have and hold a level of respect for an Olympic athlete or a pro athlete because of the level of skill and talent that they have pursued and obtained in themselves. We also see this in the great geniuses of the world, the people that have brought something very important into humanity that came from soul, their purpose. And even many of these geniuses speak to the fact that this information came from somewhere else. Albert Einstein speaks of that. Many great geniuses and creators, inventors have spoke to this feeling outside of them and downloads of information that didn't feel like it came from them. Nikola Tesla spoke of that. And then they bring in the mind and how to strategically create that. And they are listening to their intuition and they're connected to the moment. So again, these great geniuses, these great inventors of the world, we could also suggest have been able to be of integrity, to be integrated in these three. So the question then becomes, is this the key to your very own greatness? Well, I would definitely say yes. And that entire question and inquiry just lit me up. Is this the key to our greatness? I would say absolutely yes. Because as I mentioned, they're not separate. So you can't even fully be 100%, quote unquote, in the power of your mind if you're separate from your body and your soul. So to really achieve your full potential in this life is a place of integration, body, mind, soul, of integrity, structural integrity. And the other side of this is not only does this tap into your greatness and your legacy and really like your genius, what you are 100% unique to bring to this world, but it makes you unstoppable, it makes you unbreakable. Because when these three entities are functioning in harmony, there's nothing that can happen to you that would break you. I always loved to comment about, how many times the great inventors of the world failed. Over and over and over again, they failed at what they were creating. Thousands of times often, told that they were delusional, that it wouldn't work. But did they listen? No, because they were unstoppable. So the inquiry here for you gets to be, which one of these do you find the most comfort in? Which is your home? Do you work primarily of the mind? Do you work primarily of the soul? Do you work primarily of the body? And just owning that, this is not a place of judgment. This is a place of ownership. Because in leadership, and most importantly in power, you have to take radical ownership of everything that you do. That is how you embody power. So take ownership. And from this place of, this is the one that I find the easiest, the most comfortable, the most natural for me, what is the weakest? And can you make it a priority to strengthen that aspect? To integrate more of yourself from that particular aspect of self. To be more embodied. To be more of soul, of purpose. To be more connected to the logic and the strategy and the brilliance of the mind. I guarantee you that if you were to bring in specifically your weakest one and spend considerable amount of time, 3 to 6 months, integrating that aspect into your life, it would transform your reality. So, are you going to take me up on that? What if I dare you? Can you take me up on that dare? Double dare you, perhaps. Would you be willing to explore an aspect of yourself that might initially feel very uncomfortable? Again, most people are the strongest in their mind. So when they attempt to bring their awareness to the present moment, to breathe into their body, to become more connected, there's a lot of resistance that shows up. But you get to choose. Do you want to be in your power? Or do you want to be fragmented? Do you want to be integral? It's your choice. And resistance is always our greatest gift. When we meet resistance in ourselves, we're meeting a belief. That's it. A belief. That's all it is. Resistance, fear, conflict, tension. It's all a belief. And in that moment of connecting to that belief, you get to choose if you're going to believe it anymore or not. Does it serve you to believe it? So again, coming from the majority of people being mind-based and not integrated into the wisdom of their body, most people don't want to listen to their body, and they haven't given it any value. It's just a thing that carries them around. What does it matter? What's the value there? And deeper underneath that is generally some pain, emotional or physical pain, that when they bring their awareness to their body, that pain begins to be felt. So the mind becomes safety. But that emotional pain and that physical pain, it's always there. It doesn't go away just because you ignore it. You know, does the laundry go away if you just ignore it? No, somebody, whether you pay somebody to do it or you do it yourself, somebody has to do the laundry. Otherwise, you just simply have a lot of smelly, dirty clothes in your house. And that's what those beliefs are. You have the choice of either addressing them or having smelly, dirty beliefs in your subconscious mind, the 95% that actually is the captain of your ship. Your choice. Integrity. It's a harmonic coherence. It's coherence of self. This is when you are emotionally intelligent, when you are present to the moment. This is when you can feel emotion while simultaneously not being overtaken by it, not even identifying with it. This is when you can feel the intuitive hits, the gut instincts, because you're not just in mind masturbation all day. This is when you can pull from a purpose, a why that is so lit and so powerful that nothing can stop you creating it. This is your ultimate ability as a human, is in the structural integrity, the coherence of body, mind, and soul. Thank you for joining me today, and I'm always here for you if you need support in this. Until next time, much love.
Thank you for listening to the Power Edge Podcast with host Alara Sage. Connect with us on Instagram at The Power Edge or on YouTube at Alara Sage.